is new, and it wasn't two-tone, but we had a lot of fun here. You notice there's two driveways right next to each other, so that gave us more room to play.
Yeah, you were telling me a tiny bit about some neighbors and some memories of growing up here, so please continue about that.
Oh, sure. Well, the CHUH lived next door downstairs, and they were an older couple, and they used to help us out a lot. And the people that lived, you know, in the 9 years we were here, there were different tenants upstairs. I remember the Rotmans and the Schimbergs, and I remember the landlords were the Collins, married couple. You know, we very rarely saw them. We used to play a lot, like I said, in the driveways, and we, you know, unfortunately, we broke a lot of windows, you know, with kickball and all that. But I see that they put in glass block on the basement windows, which was a very smart thing to do. But yeah, we were out here in the street playing all the time. David Sanders lived across the street right over there. He was our age. We played with him. And you had Gary Rosen and his family over here. And, you know, we knew, you know, we pretty much knew all the kids that lived in the neighborhood.
It looks like you had a lot of fun here.
We did. We had a lot of fun. We were outside all the time.
Yeah, what's a screen? And I discovered that this home was designed by celebrated architect George Kaufman with 2 F's. So please describe any standout interior layout and details.
Yeah, you know, the interior is the 2 bedrooms. The downstairs has 2 bedrooms, and they're in the rear. The room that I'm pointing to that's in the far, well, if you're facing the street, the far right, is a sunroom. And that sunroom we eventually did use for the bedroom. The kitchen, if you go in the side door, that's the first room you walk into. If you go in the front door, it's the living room. Then there's a dining room. And, you know, it's not a big area. And, you know, there's a lot of wood, which is very nice. You know, all the trim is wood and so forth. You know, the upstairs I'd only been into, so the top floor is an attic. And there is a basement. We stored our stuff in the basement. The attic was this kind of like mysterious place that we really didn't go into, but the upstairs.
Oh,
No, just won't listen then.
Many of the houses that I'm just going to ask you double description, I'll run through the height, but it has service, but the 1937 is shown there was a service here.
We're gonna skip a little bit. I talked about service.
The house,
There's a sound problem too.
oh, I like to add.
No, this was a great neighborhood to grow up in. You know, kids. Our mother, we grew up in a single mother family. The interesting thing about the neighborhood.
Okay, so that pretty much concludes the presentation, and I want to open it up to questions and comments right now. I know, Deborah, you were going to say, you were going to take the microphone up here. Randy, can you turn on the highlight camera? And also some books are being sold with 100% of profits benefiting the 100% of proceeds rather benefiting the Historical Society. Okay, so before Deborah, you take the mic, I got a question here.
Did you say that Tony Cooter's house was a 3-family?
According to my research, the 3rd floor was no man's land at that time, and I don't know why. I have no way of knowing that. And I know it's a triple today. If you go to my place, it certainly is a triple. I thought I might have. Do I have census records? I'm going to have to check those census records and double check them to see if it was a triple before his time. But I have all those records, easy to check. So if you wanna, other people, I'm more than welcome to think of, oh, you have a question, okay.
My spouse and I used to live on East Derbyshire, and we had an up and down with the third floor. We lived on the second floor, the entire second floor. There was a sunroom, and off of the living room was a very small porch, which was big enough for two people to sleep on, but I don't know what that porch was originally designed for. It was really small.
Ken, you wanna weigh in on that sleeping porch, or Mike?
They put laundry out there, I don't know.
Well, you know,
It's right in
Very
the
small
front.
ones, they put laundry out.
there were a lot of,
Very-
in the early 20th century, there were so many epidemics like tuberculosis, and fresh air that's why there's so many sleeping porches. Slept out there.
And
I
what
mean,
distinguishes a sleeping porch? How would you
It's just
recommend?
open, but it's covered,
Okay.
and it might have screens, it might not, but they would sleep out there.
Yeah, so
Like
that
sometimes
goes
year
by
round.
sector.
I think I've
And it was
seen,
just enough room sometimes for the whole family would sleep out there, like in the summer, I think.
No air conditioning, right?
You know, there were epidemics like we had, but constantly, and people died. Tuberculosis, 1918 was a very big year of was that smallpox?
yeah,
Influenza.
So people want fresh air.
a sleeping porch could have windows or not, I mean, there was like, often not heat, and they like to sleep out there in the warm weather.
Well, Deborah, you were gonna talk a little bit about share some of your policy ideas that you told me about, so please come up here and take the mic if you don't, and be sure to talk right into it so the cameras can pick it up.
So this is, it's sort of a hobby horse of mine that I every so often throw at somebody in the planning department, and I'm hoping at some point it will stick. Laura mentioned the subject of affordability and the advantages of that advantage of doubles. And it has occurred to me that because we have such a dearth of single floor housing in Cleveland Heights for people who are older or have some other reason why they can't handle stairs, and that the up and down doubles would be, it would be wonderful to have a program where you, made the first floor apartment accessible for people aging in place, and then you took the second two floors and made them, and if the third floor wasn't finished, you would finish it, and so you'd have 2 stories, and then you could have either a young family or, some other, a couple or a single person, but the point being that, either the people living on the ground floor or the people living on the top 2 floors might be the owners, and a program that incentivizes owner occupancy and also provided more single floor living might be something that people would be interested in. It could be, it could be that some sort of development entity would be interested in it, or a community land trust, which we have a small fledgling community land trust in Cleveland Heights, and I won't go into what those are all about, but it's a different way of providing opportunities for affordable home ownership. So if you think that's a good idea and you run into Eric Zandt and you want to run it by him, be my guest. I did not copyright this. I don't need to be credited, but it's a hobby horse of mine, and I'm hoping that maybe I can get someone interested in it at some point.
We're gonna just head over to the book table. I'm definitely, though, if anyone's thought of more questions or comments, I'd like to hear them now. Definitely not trying to rush anyone anywhere. Yes, miss, in the black shirt, yeah.
So the corner doubles, is that kind of specific to Cleveland and Cleveland Heights, or is it used elsewhere in the country?
As far as I know, it's used in a lot of places. Is that correct, Ken?
Yes, all over, but they have doubles, it's very standard.
And they call them corner doubles?
Everybody's different names. They call them corner doubles.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Byer?
In the terminology, is there any difference between a double and a duplex?
That, I talk a lot about terminology in the journal article, a duplex, it's more used for side by side. It really is a synonym. I mean, it pretty much is a synonym. What do you think, Ken?
I've just seen them used different ways. I thought I had it straight, but then I see duplexes used, just sounds better to some people, so they don't, it's interchangeable, I think. I think in some cities, a duplex has one meaning only, but I don't.
In Shaker, informally, it means, it implies side by side. You don't often hear of an up and down being called it, but I could be totally off. Another member of the Historical Society said that the corner doubles are more likely to be called duplexes. I don't want to bias this discussion by any means. I mean,
There's no side by side on the corners.
yeah, they sure are. Yeah, but I think Chuck said that when he heard the term, it was more or less reserved for that.
Then you have the side by sides in the Fernley neighborhood also, where all those intersections are side by side.
Oh,
There was
I saw some other questions here.
Just
JJ.
casually, I mean, a lot of this is very east side focused, but on the west side, I just casually, I've seen a number of the jerkling roof pattern.
Yeah.
On like around Mayfair and Broadview. There's a number of them down in the neighborhood there.
the Old Brooklyn you're talking about?
Yeah, in the old Brooklyn neighborhood. So,
There's certain differences east side and west side, it's much more common on one side than the other. There are certain things, like combination shingles is more common on the west side. There's certain kinds of houses in Lakewood you don't see anywhere else, Certain things.
I meant Mayview, Broadview.
Okay. Deborah.
May we have your attention, please? The library will close in 30 minutes, and all computers will shut down in 20 minutes. The bridge doors will also be locked in 30 minutes. Please check out your materials now.
Sorry, it's
So
not that.
I was just gonna ask, this is just anecdotal, but in our side by side and in my parents' single family house also in Cleveland Heights, in both cases, the third floors were finished. On our side, there was a full bathroom up there, but there was no heat. And I wonder if those were built that way without heat because they were servants' quarters and, they didn't want to spend the money to run heat up there just to keep a servant warm. I don't know. Yeah, you don't think that would be it? So, yeah.
I am this one.
Why would they not run heat up to the?
I guess it's what they're saying.
I wanted that, and that one's running.
Of course, or is that the way?
Nobody can hear what you're saying.
But we still have the old fashioned tub.
So, it is after 8:30 now. We do have to be concluding things unless someone has another question.
I'll just say that there is, I didn't even know Bradley was a double on Newport Avenue. That's a new one on me. But there is another double on Newport Avenue so I thought you were going to refer to that one.
Well, why don't you come up to the mic and tell people? I want to hear
I
about
don't
it.
have the names here, I have to look it up.
Oh, okay.
It's symmetrical.
Be sure to put it on the Facebook or somehow. Yeah.
It's like a mansion, but it's a symmetrical, beautiful house. I think it was built for relatives of each other, but it's considered a double. At Millionaires Road.
Okay, we'll be headed over to the table now for a little fundraiser for the Cleveland Heights Historical Society. Wow, what great questions, and fabulous audience. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out, everybody.
We just had our first concert. We have 8 shows and 8 seats. But only like 2 reps.
Yeah, it sure is, and a lot of the double owners in places where I visited, they got rid of the laundry chutes. I have mine, I don't have a double home now, but yeah, but I
Jay, you can
never
put it down
never
if you want.
We were looking for a social